Michigan Democratic Congressman John Conyers yesterday stepped down from his leadership position on the House Judiciary Committee. Minnesota Democratic Senator Al Franken today said that, he's so embarrassed and ashamed of his actions. Watch.
I'm going to try to learn from my mistakes. In doing so, I've been doing a lot of reflecting, and I want to be someone who adds something to this conversation.
Oh, you've had it enough, Al. Well, now Texas Republican Congressman Joe Barton, dealing with a nude photo scandal and a possible investigation into how the photos were leaked. So what can lawmakers do to get things back on track? Joining me now, Director of Policy at the Independent Women's Forum, Hadley Heath Manning. Hadley, welcome back to the show.
Of course. Always great to be with you, Kennedy.
This is very problematic for both Republicans and Democrats for a number of reasons. What is the appropriate response of those in power to victims and to those who are accused of violating them?
Well, we've got to stay away from double standards. First of all, we have to accept the point and take the point that sexual assault, sexual harassment, sexual misconduct is always wrong, wrong, wrong. It doesn't matter if it's your guy doing it, doesn't matter if it's someone across the aisle, doesn't matter the industry, it doesn't matter the party. That has to be, we have to rise above partisanship here and just look at what you called a moral failure.
All right, so what should we expect? Should we expect that people like Representative Conyers and Senator Franken and potentially Judge Moore either drop out of the race or resign from their powerful offices?
Well, I think the problematic point when it comes to sexual assault and sexual harassment, especially in the political world, is that there are voters and there are people being represented, there are constituents who have interests beyond the personal lives of people in offices. And so this makes it really complicated, right? We're always looking for the truth as voters and as constituents. And some of the sexual assault allegations in the political world boil down to he said, she said. Sometimes the truth is more clear, sometimes it's less clear. And so I'm just speaking generally here, we could understand how there could be politically motivated accusations that might not be true. And that makes it much more difficult when it comes specifically to the political world, because politics and focusing on the issues, that's all nice. But at the end of the day, voters have to decide, what do I think about this person, as their moral character, and do I feel comfortable with that person representing me?
Is this someone whom I can trust? Now, you have people like Nancy Pelosi asking for due process for John Conyers. Some people defending Roy Moore in Alabama have said the same thing, but there's not exactly a system of due process in Congress right now. In fact, two congresswomen have proposed drastically changing it, including Jackie Speer and Barbara Comstock, a Democrat and a Republican, who say that, right now, all of this favors the abuser. So if someone comes forward and claims that they were a victim of harassment or assault, they're essentially sent to sensitivity training before they're allowed to proceed with any action.
That's right. We don't want double standards between Republicans and Democrats, and we shouldn't have a double standard between people who are in public office and private employers either. And right now, that's what we have. I'm afraid this issue has gotten far too little attention, but people should be interested. Taxpayers should be interested to know that between 1997 and 2014, the Office of Compliance has paid out more than $15.2 million in awards and settlements due to workplace violations on Capitol Hill. As you mentioned, there's a different system when you're a complainant or a victim of sexual harassment in the workplace on Capitol Hill. You do have to go to mandatory counseling. You have to go through a waiting period before you can file a complaint. And people who are private employers know that it's a very serious game when it comes to having a workplace that is comfortable and welcoming for everyone. It should be the same way on Capitol Hill. If anything, we should hold lawmakers and people in public office to a higher standard, not a lower one.
Before taxpayers start paying out their hush money, because that's what's happening with these payments. These payments are meant to circumvent due process. So none of this reaches a court of law. So none of it is made public, and several lawmakers have said it's an antiquated system that has to change. Hadley, thank you so much for your points tonight. I appreciate it.